I last updated my resume, my CV in 2020. Is that format still okay? That's the topic of this webinar today. So if you're still thinking, I last updated my resume in 2020, is that still good? Do I really need to change it? Let me stop you right there. The format is almost definitely out of date, and it's time for you to upgrade. I'm Martin Buckland, a global executive resume and CV writer. In this career tips for a crazy world, I will dig deep into why your 2020 or before resume CV might be holding you back, especially in the age of the applicant tracking system, otherwise known as ATS. First things first. Applicant tracking systems, ATS. This is a very sophisticated software and is now the gatekeeper for most job applications. Over 90%, yes, 90% of employers now use ATS to screen resumes, screen CVs before they even get to a hiring manager. So if your resume isn't optimized for ATS, it might never be seen by human eyes. So back in 2020, you could probably get away with a more traditional resume CV, one that was more visually appealing with columns, graphics, some shading, and maybe even a fancy layout. But today, right now, ATS doesn't care about all that flash formatting. It's looking for keywords, clear headings, and a simple, structured format. No shading, no graphics, no headers, no footers, no underlines, and much more. It's like a whole laundry list of stuff you cannot do today. It's so particular that one character wrong, one line wrong, or even one bullet wrong, and you are gone, even though you may have all the skills for that particular job you are applying for. You have 120% of the skills, but you're a perfect candidate. You will fail. Now let's talk content. Sure, the 2020 resume had all your accomplishments, but were they all performance driven? This is where people let themselves down. Let's be honest, the world has moved on. Hiring managers and recruiters want to see results. They want to see your performance, not your responsibilities. No one's impressed by a job description that says managed a team or responsible for. By the way, I've never written those two words, responsible for, in a resume probably for 15 to 16, 17 years. They want to see your performance. They want to see preferably as many metrics as you can get into that resume, that CV, as possible. So ask yourself this: can you quantify your impact in every role? If not, it's time to beef up those bullet points. Think percentages, revenue increase, cost savings, introducing new processes, resurrecting a company, and the multiple specific outcomes that those will bring. So now let's move on to formatting. If you're still using a multi-column design, or you've got graphics and fancy fonts from 2020, you've got shading, you're in trouble. ATS systems don't understand complex layouts. Let me give you an example. If you've got shade on your resume, your CV, every block of shade creates an extra page. And this is a killer. The text within that shade can never get read by the ATS. So in other words, if you've got your name and all your contact info in that shading, not only does that block of shade create an extra page, they don't even know your name. They don't even know how to contact you, email you, phone you, or whatever. So they'll just scramble your information, all those formatting errors that you need to address today. You need to go to a clean, straightforward format that makes it easy for ATS to pass your experience. Stick to a simple, single column design with clearly marked sections like professional experience, value added skills, and education. Use standard formats like Arial, Calibri, or Garamond, but never ever Times New Roman. Keep the font size between 10 and 12 points. Remember, don't get fancy with headers or footers. ATS can't read them, and they'll just confuse the system, and you'll be thrown out the other end, and you'll go in the recycle bin or be buried in that ATS system forever. Now, keywords. ATS is all about matching the keywords in your resume, your CV, to the particular job description you are applying for. It's a database too. If your resume doesn't contain the right keywords, it's likely you're going to be tossed out into the no pile, even if you are the perfectly qualified for that particular role you are applying for. So your 2020 resume CV might not be aligned with the job market today. Industry terms, tools, technologies evolve. Lots happened since 2020. So your resume needs to reflect the most current language, the most current applications, skills, etc. So do a deep dive into the job description, and match your resume, your CV to those keywords. You need to do it for every application. Here's another key thing: customize your resume. So one size doesn't fit all. In 2020, maybe you could get away sending out the same resume for every single job application. But now with ATS filtering, you have to tailor your resume, your CV to each job posting. For every application you make, it's going to take you about 15 to 20 minutes to customize that resume, CV to that particular job you are applying for. It doesn't have to be a complete rewrite, but you need to adjust the emphasis of your experience and your skills to match what the employer is looking for. For example, if the job asks for project management experience, make sure your resume, your CV, highlights you have project management experience and have a performance-driven story about some projects you were involved in. Let's quickly go over some common mistakes you should avoid. These are the mistakes I see on resumes from 2020, and they are costing people opportunities. People, learned business executives, are in career transition a lot longer, just simply because they don't have the right resume, the right format. So not using an ATS friendly format, failing to include measurable statistics, measurable accomplishments, overcomplicating things with fancy fonts, shading, or graphics. Zero graphics, zero shading. No tailoring your resume to each specific job you apply for. These mistakes can be costly, especially in today's job market where competition is increasing because of geopolitical things happening in this world. And the first impressions matter more than ever before. The goal is to stand out in a way that ATS can understand and executive recruiter will notice. So in your 2020 resume, CV is still okay? I'll be blunt. Probably not. The format and the content of resumes, CVs has evolved significantly since then, largely because of ATS. But the good news is you can fix it quite easy. You don't need to start from scratch, but you do need to update your resume to keep with the demands of modern recruiting. You can never beat that ATS because it's a computer, but you can at least match it. So make sure your resume, your CV is clear, concise, and measurable, performance driven. align it with the job market, and tailor it to each position, each appointment you apply for. Remember, your resume, your CV isn't just a document, it's a tool to get you the interview, not the job. Are you feeling overwhelmed or unsure where to start? Reach out to me. I offer a free, no obligation resume critique. If you send your resume to this address below here, I will arrange a 30-minute Zoom call with you, doesn't matter where you are in the world, and I will go through your resume. I will give you a critique CV for free. No obligation, no sales pitch, but I want you to get the right document, the right format, the right content, because that's so crucial today. So get your resume in shape and put it to work for you. So submit your resume again to this address below. I click on the link and I will be in contact with you. So I'm Martin Buckland. Remember, your career is your business. Manage it like your business. For more information on career management and all facets of career management, be sure to visit my YouTube channel, Martin Buckland, and press the subscribe button and the bell button so you will be notified of all future upcoming videos. Good luck, and here's to a resume, a CV that really works for you and getting you the interviews that you want and you desire. Best of luck.